You know I love photography, and most likely we share the same passion. But you might not know that I actually started this channel to post my travel videos, which at the very beginning I was filming just with my iPhone. So today I'm going to share with you 7 tips to create beautiful and cinematic videos just using your smartphone. Welcome to my channel. Here I love to talk about photography, but I also make videos just like this one where I share filmmaking tips. So if you're here for the first time, it might be a great idea to subscribe. Traveling has been one of my biggest passions since I was a teenager. And my passion for photography actually started when I started traveling. Travel photography was my thing. I was coming back from my trips with tons of pictures, and I don't think I was very good, but I liked the process. I liked to feel like a photo reporter documenting my trips. My interest for photography developed, and I actually started to take only landscape and long exposure photography. So when I was coming back from my trips, I really didn't have any pictures of my experience and the travel itself. And that's why I started to take videos. But I didn't want to buy or carry extra gear, so I started to film just with my phone. Ooh. Maybe this intro is a little too long, but I really wanted to explain the contest. But now let's start with the tips. Tip number 1, get a dedicated video app. My favorite video app is FILMAKING Pro. With FILMAKING Pro, I can control almost any video settings, and very shortly we will see how and why this is important. Tip number 2, hold your phone horizontally. Unless you are doing a video exclusively for your Instagram stories or for Instagram TV, you need to keep your phone in a landscape mode. Just like this. I know this sounds very basic, but I still see a lot of people that are taking their videos vertically, in a portrait mode. I don't think anybody likes that. By the way, from a video taken in landscape mode, you can still create an Instagram story, and that's what I usually do. If you want to know how, just write me in the comments below. I will tell you. Tip number 3, pick your frame rate. I don't know why people love to scream at their dogs. Tip number 3, pick your frame rate. If you're filming a scene that you're going to show at the regular speed, 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second are the ideal frame rates. While if you want to create smooth slow motions, you will need to use 60 frames per second, 120 frames per second, or depending on the capability of your phone, maybe 240 frames per second. And FILMAKING Pro will allow you to create presets that you can save, so it will be easy to switch from a frame rate to another. Tip number 4, control your shutter speed. Of course, you can only do that if you are using a dedicated video app. But basically, the rule is very simple. Once you decide your frame rate, you want to set your shutter speed at twice the frame rate you're using. It is the 180-degree rule, and if you apply this rule, you will be able to have very smooth footage, not jittery, cinematic, lovely motion blur. So pick 1/60 if you are filming at 30 frames per second, pick 1/120 if you are filming at 60 frames per second, and so forth. I think you get the idea. I love this place. For the last 3 tips I came to a different location. This is an old ranch, 15 minutes from where I live in Northern California. Tip number 5 is, of course, ND filters. This tip is very much connected to the previous one. In fact, if you want to be able to reduce your shutter speed without having overexposed images, the only way to do this on a phone is to actually reduce or cut the light that comes into the lens, because on the phone we are not able to change aperture. So if you want to have a balanced exposure, we need to put a filter in front of the lens. And I received this system, which is called Iris, from Polar Pro. Polar Pro is the brand that is actually making the filters I use on my Mavic Pro. But they came out with this very smart idea, which is basically you can clip this holder in front of your lens, and I will show you how. Actually, I will show it to you right now. So you can clip this easily in front of your lens, and then you can actually change the filters. The kit comes with 3 different filters with 3 different neutral density intensity, ND8, ND16 and ND32. Very cool. So let's put these filters to work. So I'm using the second tripod to run this test with and without the filters. Let me open FILMAKING Pro and let's see what is the shutter speed without any filter, which is 1/1920, which in my opinion will require an ND32. So I grabbed the ND32. I already placed the holder, as you can see, in front of my lens, and I will slide in the ND32. And let's see now what is my shutter speed. Shutter speed is 1/60, so exactly twice the frame rate that I'm using, which is 30. So this is actually perfect. And now you can see how overexposed this image would be if I would use 1/60 without an ND filter. Tip number 6, lock your white balance. It is important to use a dedicated video app because it will give you the chance to control most of the settings, including the white balance. You want to make sure that your white balance is not set on auto. Auto will constantly change the temperature of the light and the tint of the colors in your images, especially if you are moving your camera. So make sure that it's set on lock so you will have a constant, very cinematic color profile. Tip number 7, remember to set your phone to airplane mode. It happened to me one time. I was in Florence, I was shooting a fantastic sunset 45-minute scene. I forgot to set my iPhone on airplane mode, and towards the end of the scene I received a phone call which unfortunately erased the entire time-lapse. I hope these few tips will help you to increase your production value of your iPhone filmmaking. There's always more to learn, but start with these basic tips and you will for sure improve the quality of your videos, creating more cinematic images. If you did like this video, I encourage you to put a like, and if you didn't subscribe yet, maybe this is the time to do so. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.